Okay, I'm Andrew Daniel. This is for SDI. It's the rotary tool lab, and what I'm going to be doing my lab on is I've got a Remington 722 made in the 1950s that I want to jewel the bolt. But before I do that, I got to polish it. So as you can see here, it's not exactly polished. There's some little scratches and imperfections in the finish, and I don't want that to show through the swirling of the jeweling. I'm going to be using the Wen rotary tool with a cloth or felt wheel and some abrasive polishing compound. It's this green compound that came with a different rotary tool kit of mine. There's the packaging that it came wrapped in. I've also I got a piece of 1/2-inch PVC pipe that I'm going to be making a little jig so that way the vise doesn't mar the bolt. I'm going to be using a scroll saw so that I can cut 2 clamshell halves out of it, and then I'm going to go from there. So here I am. I'm started the scroll saw on the lowest speed, so you can see it kind of bouncing around. Just having it right down the middle. Got just a general all-purpose blade on the scroll saw. Now cutting the 2 halves so that way they're 2 separate pieces. And then I'm going to do the forming and heating of it. It's not going to be on camera, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up with a torch and then mold it around the base of the bolt so that way it gets a better bite on the bolt and it doesn't get marred by the vise. I've just got a normal milling vise or drill press vise that I'm going to be using for the project. I've got another vise, but the lighting is even worse over by that one, so we're going with this one. Okay, here you can see I've got the bolt up in the vise inside of the little jig I made. Just got to get the camera angle and everything figured out. The zoom, I don't ever use this thing, so I apologize. It's a learning experience for me when I'm doing these things. Alright, so I'm giving you a little bit of a look at the bolt and adjusting the lighting. I'm going to be using this green polishing compound that came with a different rotary tool kit. It seems to work pretty good, so I've been sticking with it. I've got the polishing compound on the wheel. You want to get it to where the side of the polishing wheel it's fully saturated. I basically go until I don't see any more white, and I just put it on a really low setting and dip it into the compound. Then I go into work on it. I start going sideways first because I noticed some vertical scratches that I wasn't a big fan of. I wanted to eliminate them. They're more towards the bottom where the bolt handle is, so I start there first. And I'm going to speed up the video a little bit so that way you can see what's going on but not get bored to death. So when it comes to rotary tools, you have different bits that you can use, and each one gives you a different capability that the tool has. So first I want to talk about the sanding drums. They usually come with a shank on this rubber drum, and you'll fit the sanding drum around it, and when you tighten it, it secures it and holds it in place. Use it for sanding in tight spaces. You've got burrs like that one that are used for engraving or carving. Uh, the next thing we have, it's like this bit that you can use to put on sanding discs, which are flat instead of the drums, and it gives you a different capability to sand. Or you can use that same attachment and you can use cutoff discs. But a cutoff disc is real brittle, so you only want to use it on the edge. I got different stones I'd like to show you, different ones, different shapes. If you can imagine it, they create it, and if not, you can use that block right there to shape the stone that you want. There's a couple other things, there's drill bits and a few other attachments that you can use with the Dremel. The possibilities are pretty much endless. If you can think it, you can probably do it. You may screw up a bunch, but eventually you figure out how to do it the right way. Love them or hate them, they're here to stay. That's all I got.